to go.
Cool!
Hey everyone, it's 𝗃𝗲𝗀𝗃, and today I am back with another Nintendo update video. And for this video, I'm just going to briefly give my thoughts on some recent Nintendo news. Well, not much Nintendo news, because in terms of what's been happening in the Nintendo camp, it's been pretty dry lately, because going into 2024, obviously, everyone was expecting that this could potentially be a big year for Nintendo, because a lot of people were theorizing that the successor to the Nintendo Switch could release this year. And I was one of those people who was like really on team 2024, like the Nintendo Switch 2 has to happen this year. There were just too many signs pointing to that fact, and it's why one of my first videos this year was just a discussion on what was going to happen with Switch 2, because I was sure that it was going to be 2024. But thanks to some recent reports and rumors, it's looking likely that this is not going to be the year of the Nintendo Switch successor, and Nintendo is going to write out the basic Nintendo Switch we've had since 2017 one more time for the rest of the year. And it's definitely made their lineup this year look very dry, to put it lightly. Not to say that there's no interesting games in their lineup, because obviously, you know me, I'm like super hyped for the 𝗵𝗲𝗳𝗲𝗄𝗃 remake. But other than that, the rest of their game lineup this year is not too interesting, because you look and see January, we had the another Code game, which is cool. I guess it's cool to see an underutilized IP get some love. Same with Endless Ocean, that got confirmed from the partner showcase, which it's weird that of all Nintendo IPs they bring back freaking Endless Ocean, but okay. For the like 3 people who love that series, congratulations. And then obviously we had the remasters and remakes with like Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, and obviously this Paper Mario remake. And the one new game we have and that we know of is Princess Peach Showtime, which they just put out a demo for. And from what I'm seeing from that game, I haven't played the demo yet because I've been just so busy with so much other stuff, but from what I've seen of the game, it seems decently on the right track, although I don't think that this is going to be some big revolutionary game. I think this is very much a very experimental, like very not too like in-depth game, and as a result it's probably going to get a lot of pressure, you know, from people who are expecting it to be a bigger game than it actually is. I don't think it's going to be this crazy expansive game with like a million side quests, like a big open world or something like that. So if you're going into that game expecting that, you're going to be very disappointed. But yeah, because of the fact that these are the only games we know about in terms of Nintendo's 2024, a lot of people are just not really feeling them right now. It doesn't seem like we have much going on when it comes to the Nintendo camp. Like obviously, again, I'm excited for the 𝗵𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗃 remake, but everything else is just kind of meh. Especially with Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, that's the one that I still think is just a strange game to bring back. Like of all the 3DS games you could bring in, like we could have Kid Icarus Uprising, that's like a big one I've been wanting, or Tomodachi Life, that's the one I see Twitter talking about a lot. But no, of all games, they bring in Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, and I have no idea why. Okay, we know why they chose Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. It's because Luigi's Mansion 3 sold like hotcakes, so obviously they're trying to ride off Luigi's recent boost in popularity. So yeah, that's the reason why we're getting a port of the second game. And in terms of my thoughts on the second game, I think it's okay, but I was just so disappointed in it. I'm not really looking forward to like buying some sort of HD port of it, especially for a full $60, which is crazy because the original game was not $60. Man, oh man, these Switch prices, bruh. But yeah, that's pretty much it for their game lineup for the rest of this year. Maybe we could see a few more games. I think it's definitely possible they're sitting on at least a few more games for the basic Nintendo Switch, especially when it comes to Mario, because I think there's a few Mario games that they're hiding. For example, a new Mario Party. I think it's possible a new Mario Party could be on the way because ND Cube has been quiet. I originally theorized that ND Cube could be on Princess Peach Showtime, but no, 𝗏𝗄𝗃 is on Princess Peach Showtime, the Yoshi team. So most likely ND Cube has been free, and it's possible they've been working on some sort of new Mario Party. And don't let me go into the whole Superstars rant again, but yeah. a new Mario Party could be cool, I guess. And then also, it's also possible we could get a new Mario sports game, because there was a rumor that a Mario baseball game was potentially in development, which, if that's true, could be interesting. But obviously, because of the track record of Mario sports games on Nintendo Switch, it has me cautiously optimistic. Like, a new Mario baseball game could be cool, but isn't gonna be good though. Man, oh man. But yeah, other than that, I just have no idea what Nintendo is planning for the rest of this year. Like, I don't even know what they're gonna have for like their big holiday game. For all we know, they're probably just gonna rely on old reliable, which is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, because for some reason that game continues to sell like hotcakes. I don't get it. Like, how doesn't everyone own that game at this point? Like, I don't know what's going on with that game. But yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of Nintendo's 2024. Like, we're just waiting to see if they're going to give some sort of tease to what their next system is, or if they have any more big games that they're hiding from us. It's going to be a very slow year for them. And I would say maybe this is a year where you could go to like Sony or Microsoft and see if they've got anything interesting, but they have their own issues. Let's just put it that way. But there is one more other thing that I do want to talk about in this video, which is Mar 10 Day, because this year Nintendo really hyped up Mar 10 Day, and I originally didn't know why exactly they were doing this, because they've hyped up Mar 10 Day before, because obviously it's the Mario Day. Like, they've done some things for it, like some sales, and they've put games on NSO before. But this time they were really hyping up that they were going to do something big for it. So that got my expectations a little higher than usual, but not too high, because this isn't some sort of anniversary celebration or anything like that. So I wasn't going into this expecting too much. But in terms of what we got, most of it was uninteresting. Like, we got the release dates for the Paper Mario remake and Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. It's like, okay, that's cool. Thanks, Miyamoto. And after, I think we also got some NSO games, but it's just like some basic Game Boy Mario games. Dr. Mario, Mario Golf, Mario Tennis. Like, you couldn't at least throw in like Super Mario Land in there, because that's like one of the few Mario games that's like missing from NSO. It's very weird what's going on with that game. I have some theories to why that game could be missing. But I'll come back to that another day. But the big thing that was announced in that Mar 10 video that everyone is obviously talking about is we got the full confirmation that Mario Movie 2 is happening. Or rather, another movie in the world of Super Mario Bros., as they put it, because they were kind of coy and vague as to whether this was a direct sequel to the Mario movie. But come on now, y'all. Come on, y'all. It's the Mario movie, the movie that made $1 billion. Obviously, this is probably some sort of sequel to that movie. It could be possible that this is maybe a character spinoff, like maybe this is something that focuses on Donkey Kong or Luigi, or heck, it could be a freaking Yoshi solo movie, even though we haven't really met him yet. But yeah, it could be any of those, but I doubt it, because A, this was freaking revealed on Mar 10 Day. Mar 10 Day, like the Mario Focus Day. Why would they announce a freaking Donkey Kong spinoff movie or a Luigi movie if it's Mar 10 Day? So yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is the Mario movie sequel. And oh yeah, B, obviously, $1 billion movie. So yeah, I think this is Mario Movie 2. So getting on that note, since now that we have confirmation that another Mario movie is potentially coming, what do I want to see from this movie? And I've briefly talked about what I want to see for this second movie in some other videos, because I've obviously had so many ideas and like rambles about how this Mario movie franchise could go and how a greater Nintendo cinematic universe could go. Y'all are probably tired of hearing me ramble about that by now, but just to reiterate some of my thoughts, but not all of them, I'll briefly go into that. So based on from what I said on my Twitter, one of the main things I think that they need to do in terms of improving from the first movie is, first off, more Luigi. Like, obviously that was a big criticism against the first movie. There was just not that much Luigi. Like, we definitely got a decent bit of it, and he's one of the best parts of the movie, but he's kidnapped for most of it, and as a result of that, he just didn't get too much time to shine. And for a movie called the Super Mario Brothers movie, he probably should have gotten a little more screen time. So for this second movie, let's fix that. Let's get more Luigi in there. Next, I want a longer runtime because the runtime for the first movie was all right. And I don't think the movie was horribly paced, but it was definitely a little fast paced. You can tell that there were some breathing room scenes that could have benefited the movie greatly. And we know that they did cut a few scenes in the development process of the movie because some of them surfaced on Twitter and other sites. So for this second movie, I want a longer runtime so we can keep a bit more of those breathing room scenes, have some time to tell the story that they want to tell, and allow for some little moments in the story. Like, I'm not asking that they go super in depth because me personally, I'm not expecting Mario to go super crazy with the storytelling. Like, it's Mario. But I do want them to make more of an effort to like really focus on the character development and the plot points. And that's pretty much it. You know, that there's obviously going to be people who are demanding a lot more given the mixed reception of the first movie at first. But me personally, I just think that if they just build on just expanding the runtime and stuff like that, that'll help it. And finally, less pop music, because again, this is another thing that I think was a big issue with the first movie. I don't think it was something that ruins the first movie because again, the Mario movie probably has one of the best video game movie soundtracks of all time. Like, most of that soundtrack is music from the games in this beautiful orchestral style. But we know that they sidelined some of that original score for some pop songs, and let's tone that down for this sequel. Like, some of the pop songs weren't the absolute worst choices. Like, I'm very thankful they mainly used old music and not modern music, because that would have just been hyper cringe if they did. But still, let's tone down some of the pop music and focus more on Mario music. Like, I cannot believe we have to like beg for this, especially when we almost lost the freaking final battle music. Oh my goodness, don't get me started. I'm ranting on that. But yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of what I want to see from this second movie, in terms of like the main things, like in terms of improving off of the first movie. Otherwise, just carry the energy directly from movie one, because movie one mostly did things right. I don't know if the voice cast is going to return, so that's up in the air definitely for sure, especially since a lot of them are voiced by big celebrities. But whether we get those celebs back or we get new ones, or maybe they even bring in some game voice actors, I just hope that they pick people who can do these characters justice. Which, on that note, that gets into the adaptation elements. What do I want to see in terms of content for this movie? And one of the big things is obviously I want a lot of the characters to be done justice. I already briefly talked about Luigi and how I think he should have more screen time, but let's talk about Yoshi, because he was the big post-credit tease of the first movie. And all I ask for him is that they do him justice and portray why he's a very beloved character. Don't make him an annoying sidekick. I don't know if he's going to talk or if he's going to have a celeb voice. I have no idea what the heck they're going to do with Yoshi, but whatever they do, just don't make him annoying. And if they can do that, then I think he'll be fine. Next, I just want more of the basic Mario roster expanded. And the three big characters that I really want to see from movie 2 is Daisy, Warrior, and Waluigi. Please, bro, I am on my knees begging for these guys to get a role. Daisy especially, like, I feel like Daisy can easily be put into the second Mario movie, because I imagine what the premise is going to be is they're going to be exploring more of the Mushroom World, and because of that, that opens potential to explore more iconic Mario locations, and one of the locations they could go to is Sarasaland, and they could bring in Daisy. Like, I'm begging that they do this, bro, please. Wario and Waluigi, I've seen some people make arguments that they might be a bit harder to bring into the story because they're these weird copies of Mario and Luigi that look very similar to them. But I feel like there are definitely ways to bring them into the story. Like, there's definitely some way you can bring them into the story. Maybe you could say that they're just weird cousins or something like that, because I know Warrior was a cousin to Mario in some other forms of media. Obviously, that's not what he is in the games, but that could just be one of many different ways to bring them into the story. Just however it happens, I just hope to see those characters, because there are other big pieces to the Mario core cast that I think should have been maybe at least referenced in the first movie. But I could understand why not, because the first movie was already doing so much other stuff. So for the second one, let's just bring in those basic core characters. Which, on that note, that gets into the villain side of things, because who's going to be the big bad for this movie? Obviously, we can probably expect that it's going to be Bowser again. And if it is going to be Bowser, well, that's the perfect chance to bring in Bowser Jr. and the 𝗂𝗂𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀😂😂 as a way to spice it up. So if we're going to get Bowser again, you could bring in those characters or maybe some other villain. I'm more than open to allowing for another villain to take the reins, like freaking War or 𝗃𝗏𝗃, but we know Nintendo doesn't really reference those guys all too much, so the chance of that is unlikely. But if a new antagonist is brought in to be the bad guy, I'm more than open to it, because whenever we mess around with antagonists that aren't Bowser, we usually get some very interesting stuff for the Mario world. Which, speaking of the Mario world, that gets into one of my more divisive requests for this second movie, which is that I think that this second movie should mainly focus on the Mushroom World. Like, if we're going to go to new locations for this second movie, let's mostly stay on the planet with the Mushroom World and explore kingdoms close to the Mushroom Kingdom, like Sarasa Land, maybe the Bean Bean Kingdom, maybe Isle Delfino, stuff like that. I do not think we should go to freaking space and have crazy space battles yet, because I think that should be something saved for either movie 3 or movies further down the road. Like, I really want the basic Mushroom World expanded first before we go super crazy with exploring outside of it. And maybe you could bring in elements like the Donkey Kong Kingdom again. Like, maybe they could explore more of Donkey Kong, but I think they're probably going to do that in a spin-off film for him potentially. But whatever they do, I just hope that they handle it well. Like, if they do want to bring in some galaxy elements, I'm more than fine with it. Heck, they could like bring in some freaking teases, some vague teases, and I'll be okay with that. And I have a strong prediction that if the galaxy stuff isn't in this movie, it'll probably be the big post-credit tease. Like, heck, we already have a freaking Luma in this universe, so we know galaxy stuff definitely exists. But I just think that we should really explore the Mushroom World itself first before we have crazy space stuff. But overall, I'm just open to anything from the extended Mario universe being brought into this movie franchise, whether it be freaking WarioWare characters, more Donkey Kong characters, references to freaking Peach. Like, Peach has a whole game, so what if they reference that in the movie, you know? Or Mario Wonder. That could be very interesting to see the Flower Kingdom on the big screen. Hoo boy. But yeah, just overall, just improve from the first movie in the ways that I previously explained. Bring in some more interesting elements from the Mario game universe, and that's pretty much all I could ask for the sequel to this Mario movie. So with that, that's going to be the end of today's video. Nintendo's 2024 is not looking too interesting so far, but I definitely think we could get some updates that could very much change that. So I'll be around listening to what's happening in the Nintendo camp, but for now, I'm out of here, folks. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new to it. Be sure to leave a like on this video and follow my additional social media such as my Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it for more content and updates. This has been 𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗃, and I'm out. Peace.